think I'm done. Hey peeps, welcome to another video. Today it is my 2022 bullet journal setup and also my January setup. I love bullet journaling. I absolutely fell down a rabbit hole when I discovered it on YouTube, and I subscribe to a lot of different bullet journalers. Plant-Based Bride, who I just found out sews as well, and she's just set up a sewing journal. I'm so excited. I really want to see her makes. I also love In Print. I love My Life in a Bullet, Muchi Bujo, Tina's Diary. There's quite a few. Amanda Rachel Lee. There's quite a few, like I say, and if there is anyone that you follow that you think I should as well, then please let me know in the comment section down below. I am by no means an artist. I tried bullet journaling a couple of years ago and really liked it, and kind of went down the washi tape route of making my journal look pretty, and it was kind of fun, but I wasn't setting up my weeklies ahead of time, and I was finding that it was getting it to be as pretty as I wanted it to be, as well as functional as I needed it to be, was really difficult, and I was getting really disheartened with it because there was all these people making these beautiful things who are artists and making absolutely stunning pieces of work, and mine wasn't looking like that, and it was just like, oh. And I tried a few times drawing, and it's just not something that I'm super passionate about, so it was never going to be something that I practiced at enough that I would get as good as I wanted to. I kind of gave up. I also really like the flexibility of my Filofax, where I could, if I make a mistake, I can take out the piece of paper. I could make messy notes and they weren't a permanent part of my bullet journal. I also found the Traveller's Notebook community, and I loved the idea of that as well, so I have got myself a Traveller's Notebook cover for my bullet journal this year, because I tried the original Leuchtturm 1917 journals, which are lovely, really nice, but if you make a mistake, it's in there forever. I then went to my Filofax, as I say, with the DIY fish inserts that I got from Etsy, and they're amazing, but I don't have a busy enough schedule for those to really work for me. And the DIY fish inserts you can like customize to your heart's content, so it was just, I was clearly buying the wrong inserts, but it just didn't quite work for me the way I wanted it to. I loved the ability of a completely blank notebook to put in what I wanted when I wanted. That's what I loved about bullet journaling. So I tried bullet journaling in my Filofax. That didn't really work for me either, so I kind of stopped doing that. I then tried, like I say, Traveller's Notebook. I bought one, and I was thinking it would be great to have like a individual notebook for each month and then one for my collections. That didn't really work for me either. I even tried printing out my DIY fish inserts, making those into booklets and putting those into my Traveller's Notebook, and that didn't really work for me. I kind of gave up on it, and I haven't really had a planner this year. I did buy one. I started the year with it, but then when we moved house and like all my stuff was away and I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do with it, make it pretty, so I ended up just making scruffy notes in my Filofax. It didn't quite work, and I have been very distracted and unfocused in 2021 because I haven't been writing myself to-do lists, and I forget to do things and I don't get things done in the timely manner that they should be, and that's been really bugging me. So I decided to go back to bullet journaling in a single notebook with the added bonus of a scruffy notebook, because I am going into a Traveller's Notebook. Now, I have got 2 cameras going, and I have no idea if this setup is going to work very well or not. It is an experiment, so bear with me. I have my bullet journal down here, and I'm filming on my iPhone so that you guys can see what I'm talking about as I go through. So I found this company on Etsy called El Rahi. It's a Scottish company, I think. They do these custom-made Traveller's Notebook covers, and I went for this blue one with the seagrass on it. It was blue all over. I left it in the sun on my desk in the last house, and this kind of like sun bleaching has occurred, but I love it. I think it looks really lovely. One of the original ones that I wanted was a chic sparrow one, which had like a coffee stain on it, and it's meant to look worn and lived in. That's one of the beauties of Traveller's Notebook, so I loved the kind of like sun bleaching that happened. I think it looks great. The company have stamped their logo on the inside, and there is a pocket on the front, and there is also a pocket on the back with also the seagrass on it. I bought myself one that would fit in 4 booklets. I mean, it obviously will fit more in if you put in extra elastics and things, and I'll link down to Traveller's Notebooks in the comments down in the description down below. But I bought myself like a little plastic sleeve, which at the moment I just have a lot of clear stickers in. I can also put in little cards in this one, and then this one is an open sleeve here. I went for an origami thick papered 180 page notebook, because one of the other things about bullet journaling that I wasn't in love with was the fact that my entire year wouldn't fit into one book. I don't mind so much that it was, you know, more than the kind of like monthly planning. I don't mind that over 2 notebooks at all. But what bugged me was that my collections, and specifically the everything that I've made this year, wouldn't fit into one notebook. It would bug me if I didn't migrate the entire collection over from one notebook to another, but if I've made 60 things, I didn't want to write that all out again. So that was another reason that I was trying to use my Filofax, because that way I can just add paper and I can keep it, and it's not in the end of the world. If I run out of paper I can print some more, but it didn't quite work for me. So I bought the origami A5 book with 180 pages in it, and I went through and I marked out enough pages so that each week of the year had a double spread. I don't know if that's going to be enough room for me, but the thing I'm thinking that's going to make this work is that I also have the ability to put in another notebook to my traveler's notebook, which is going to be my scruffy notes book. So this is actually me playing around with some of my stickers and some new washi tape that I've got, and this is actually my December notes and to-do list, because I didn't have a December place to put anything. This is a sticker that I made for my bullet journal, and then this is my to-do lists. Now these to-do lists are really long, but December is a really busy month for me, and I have just gone through and used this for scruffy notes, for to-do lists for the days, and been ticking things off as I go and moving things along, making my Christmas shopping list, making my December YouTube ideas. And this is what this is going to be, is kind of scruffy notes. The reason that December's gone in there as well, because I needed somewhere to plan for December. This is from another Etsy shop. It's called Citrus Book Binding, and it is dot grid paper. It's really nice. It's quite thick. It's a nice weight of paper. It's got leaves on the outside, so I love this. So the reason I think this is going to work for me, this setup, which I will get to very soon. Sorry, 8 minutes of waffle. I haven't even shown you the inside of my notebook yet. The reason I think this is going to work for me is because there is, the entire year is in here. There is enough room for the collections at the front. There's enough room for everything that I've made this year, which is my most important collection and something that I really enjoy filling in, then reviewing at the end of the year. I've just done my 2021 year in review. That was a long video. If you watched all of that, well done. Yeah, I think this is going to work for me, because the other thing that I've done is acknowledged and bowed to the fact that I am not an artist, and this is not going to be beautiful if I am the one going to be drawing in it. So I've made stickers. Stickers for the win. I found some beautiful floral stickers with clear vinyl backgrounds on Amazon, and I'll list those down below, and they look like this. I got some washi tape from the washi tape shop, which again I will list down below. I am going to embrace the fact that I'm not an artist, and I'm going to use Canva. I do have the premium Canva. I use it for my YouTube thumbnails, but they also, I discovered and stumbled upon the fact that they have beautiful artwork on there as well. So I am going to make myself a set of stickers for each month to decorate my notebook so it looks as beautiful as I want it to, but it's going to be much quicker to do, and I hope give me the satisfaction and the aesthetic that I want, with also being as organised as I want. So 10 minutes in, I'm going to do a flip through of my notebook for you. So the first page, this had a little kind of like piece here to actually put your name and address on, and I did print this out on my see-through sticker paper, but it didn't look so good on the, because you could see this brown paper through it. So I actually printed it out on white sticker paper, and I love how that looks. And then the first page is a quote. Now lots of people stick this first page down because of the way the book is bound. This is actually glued to this cover sheet, but I wanted to put a quote here. So again, I found this image on Canva. I used the Canva graphic, the fonts that were available. I literally put this together. I wrote this out myself. I centered it into the diamond shape, or the hexagon shape. It's six-sided, yeah, that's right, isn't it? Hexagons are six-sided. It says, I have decided that this year will be a very good year, and that's just how I wanted to start my book off. So that's my first page. Then we have another quote page, and again, there is absolutely zero chance that I could do this. I love the look of watercolour, but I can't do this. I wouldn't be able to do this. So I again used, this is from Canva. This says, never think what you have to offer is insignificant. There will always be someone out there that needs what you have to give. There have been a lot of times that I have had imposter syndrome with this channel, and I'm just thinking like I have no formal training, I don't know really what I'm doing, I'm making this up as I go along. Somebody's gonna call me out on this, but I have to say you guys are amazing. The letters and cards that I get from you, the comments that I get from you, the emails that I get from you, it's not just about the sewing content, it's about the distraction and the escapism into my little world, my little corner of the internet. It blows my mind that you guys watch this and enjoy this, so thank you for being a part of my little world. Every now and again, whenever imposter syndrome strikes, I'm going to come back and look at this page because it's on my year at a glance, which I did write out some of it by hand, but it is also something that I just need to remember every now and again because it's true. Even if you're doing just a silly little internet channel about sewing and waffling and your daily life, it is going to be important to somebody. My brother's really enjoying these at the moment. He moved to Kuala Lumpur in October and he's out there for 3 years, and his wife is staying in the UK for her job and he's gone out there for his job, so they are apart for a long periods of time. But Baby Bother is really enjoying Vlogmas and seeing the family, and he's really enjoying that. So if this channel brings joy to like one person, that's definitely making it worth my while and makes me very, very happy. So I really liked this quote. I have a whole page of favourite quotes on Pinterest, and again my Pinterest is linked in the description down below. So I really like a year at a glance. These are a pain to set up. This is another, again this is the same font throughout that I got from Canva. I think it's called Breathe, and these images are all from Canva as well, and again I will link it all down in the description bar. I put this one at really low opacity so that the writing stood out on the top. I kind of wish I'd made it slightly larger, higher density opacity, because I think I could have gotten away with it, as you'll see in the next couple of pages, but I was experimenting to see what worked and what didn't, and I now know sort of slightly denser colour in with the wording on front still works. I also wrote out the names of the months and I stuck those over the top because as much as I've tried hand lettering, again I don't have the patience to practice at it to get as good as I would like to, so I thought this would work. The actual numbers I wrote out myself, and then the little boxes that go around I drew those myself because those I could manage. Then we have the future log, and if you don't know about bullet journaling, I will link the Ryder Carroll explanation video down below. It doesn't have to be this elaborate, it doesn't have to be this structured, it doesn't have to have this much artwork in it, it doesn't have to have this many stickers in it. You can make it very, very simple, and a lot of people suggest that you do make your first bullet journal very, very simple so that you can decide what works for you and what doesn't. And again, like I say, I will have linked Ryder Carroll's video in the description down below. His is incredibly simple. I just love all the artwork. So yes, again it's exactly the same image as this, just slightly bigger and a lot denser, but the future log does stand out enough that I was happy with it. I've printed out the months in a slightly larger size. Then your future log is literally that for future planning, because majority of people don't set their whole year of a bullet journal up in one go. That is a lot of work to do. So this allows you to put in dates that you need to remember. Mine's mostly birthdays. To begin with, we've got some dates for when I'm going to be in London and when I'm going to be on the island for the meetups, but the majority of them are birthdays or anniversaries that I need to remember, and it allows you to future plan for events and things like that, important dates that are coming up for months that you haven't set up the actual dailies for, and we'll get to those in a minute. Next we've got my 2002 goals and resolutions. I'm actually going to have blurred out my resolutions because there's some private ones in there that I don't want to share, but I again made this kind of banner for it. I have penciled in the year in review down here because I'm thinking that I might leave this page blank, but I might go back and do like a review of the year and how I got on with my resolutions. But again, my resolutions I have written out on Canva in the font that I like. I have printed it out onto transparent sticker paper, which will be listed in the description down below. I just cut them out and stuck them down. Next up is a collection, and collections are kind of like lists of specific things that you make this list a lot over the different months. So this is a way of putting all of those lists in one place so that you can refer back to them easily. This one is gifts, and it just says at the top gifts, and again on the leafy print at 50% opacity. I've then written out from and description, and then I've made a grid so that I can keep a note of any gifts that I receive. You guys are incredibly kind, and I have opened my PO box up again. That is meant to be literally just for letters and cards. As I say, I've got lots of letters and cards. I have 2 lever arch folders full of letters and cards from you guys, and I absolutely love reading them. And if I'm ever having a down moment, all I need to do is go into that file folder or those file folders and have a look through. It really picks up my day. So my PO box is for letters and cards, not for physical gifts. I have enough stuff. I have so much stuff. I'm also trying to not eat as much chocolate as I used to, so please don't send me that. But I know a few of you are incredibly kind and do send me gifts. I've already got a few things in here that Nimue and Rachel have sent to me. Nimue bought me some scuba fabric, which you can't quite see because it's just out of shot, and Rachel sent me a simplicity pattern that she saw and made her think of me. So I've written those down in here so that I remember where they came from. I am not expecting to fill this spread up, but I wanted to have more room rather than less. Next up we have the sewing challenges for the year. I always come across sewing challenges on Instagram that seem like a brilliant idea. I'm like, oh, that sounds fabulous, like the little red dress project, or this one or that one, and then I promptly forget about them. So I thought, if I have a space where I can write it down and I can put the name of the challenge, the day it's due, because I haven't given myself a lot of room in these boxes, and again these months are all printed out on sticker paper, as is the sewing challenge banner. I thought if I have a place where I can write it all down, then I might have a hope of actually completing some sewing challenges. There was a shirt dress sewing challenge last November and I missed out on that by days. So yeah, I thought this would be a good spread for me to have in my bullet journal, for me to keep track of things that I want to take part in and when I need to get them finished by. So that's what this one is. Next up we have Make 9, and I really like taking part in Make 9. I like the planning stage of it. I like doing spreads like this. Whether or not I actually get my Make 9 done this year, I don't know. I have decided to do a deer and doe challenge. Now that I've made a decision, I have 9 boxes down here to write out my patterns. I have a box here for some notes. Then this one, I actually, again, this is an image from Canva. I put over some white boxes so that when this printed out, these boxes would be empty. I've then cut them out so that I can actually get to the paper, because this sticker paper, you can draw over it, but it's a little bit, it can rub off. So I've cut these out with my X-Acto knife. I'm going to put in pictures of my finished garments. That is the idea. I do have a HP sprocket which allows me to print pictures onto sticker paper, so I would like to fill this whole grid up with finished makes. We shall see how I get on, but the pattern names are going to go down here, and then just some notes in here. Next up we have my made list. Now this was the collection that I did not want to transfer over from one bullet journal to another if I got 6 months in a bullet journal, in one of these notebooks, and that is usual. Most people will usually do fill a notebook up in 6 months and then transfer over to another one in the middle of the year, which is great because you get to set up a new notebook and it's all going to be beautiful and really fun. But I didn't want to have to carry around 2 notebooks so that I could fill this one in. I mean, to be fair, I probably wouldn't need to have carried this around because this, you know, I sew at home, so you know, I could have left this here and just filled it up here. But I like having it all in one place. Whether this system works for me or not is going to be interesting, and only time will tell as we go through the year, and I will find out how this system works for me. But I've dedicated 1, 2, 3, 4 spreads to my made list, and I've actually left a double page free because this year I've made 95 things. The year previously I made 125, so I've left a double spread free, and I can always print this sticker out again and either make another double spread, or I can just do a final spread here if I need the room. I have spaced it out into grids. Again, I can get 14 items on each page, so we've got the number of the make, the garment and the fabric, and then the pattern number. That's how I've been doing it for the last 2 years, and I found it really useful to look back and be like, I also kind of put notes in as whether they donated or cut up for parts or successes or presents for other people. So yeah, I really like this spread. I was writing out my numbers and I got to, where did I mess up? Yeah, 104 and then wrote 106. So I've gone over this in my little Tipex and then rewritten the numbers over the top. So I have 4 of these spreads and I'm hoping that I will fill this up out throughout the year. The tropical leafy print that I've picked may not seem like a very kind of like winter appropriate theme, but these are all pages that I will refer back to really frequently throughout the year, and we all know how much I love leaves, so I decided that a leafy theme was the one. So next up, and my final collection, is my quarterly collections. So as I've mentioned, I like sewing in collections of fabrics. I have decided that I'm going to do 4 collections next year, so 3 months dedicated to each one. First one is Cobra Corsage. I had written it in with my friction pen. That is the pen that I've used here as well, and the friction pen, the only downside of it is that it does look very grey next to all these dark black lines and text, but the friction pen, if you make a mistake, you can rub it out, which I've done here. So what I'm actually going to do is go back into Canva, and with the correct font I'm going to make a January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September and October, November, December header for each of these boxes, because I did write it out in my handwriting and I didn't like how it looked. So I'm going to go back and do that. January is going to be Cobra Corsage, so I think what I'm going to do is actually print out a picture of the Cobra Corsage print and put this in here again on my HP sprocket and stick it down. I have these 2 extra boxes down the bottom here. I did make this quite large, but I couldn't stretch it out enough to fill the bottom of the entire page. So I've got these 2 boxes for notes down here, but then I also have the remnants of the Savannah Pirate Capsule collection, and I also have the Lemon collection that I want to try. So I possibly could be doing 6 collections next year. We'll see how I get on with the initial 4 that I wanted to do. That is my last collection, and then we're going into my monthlies. So I really like my month at a glance, and this kind of thing is going to have my schedule for being in London or on the Isle of Wight. So as you can see, I'm going to be in London until the 10th when I come back to the Isle of Wight. I'm going to fill the rest of these in with the Isle of Wight until I go back to London again, because I am going to be time sharing between the Isle of Wight and London. My boyfriend lives in London, I live on the Isle of Wight, but we are technically moving in together this year, except he doesn't have room for me to work from home in his new flat. But his new flat is also on the Goldhawk Road, so I am going to be spending probably 2 weeks up there and then 3 weeks down here. That's the idea, and I can sew to my heart's content whilst I'm down here, then film everything and then edit and upload while I'm up in London. That's the plan. This will also have my upload schedule on it, and then I have a space here for notes, and this is going to be where I write any important dates like birthdays or things that I need to remember, so that's what's going to go in there. I went for more leaves but flamingos, so I have done all my boxes in pink, and again this is a piece of artwork that I found on Canva. I have cut it out, stuck it down, and then again this is the same font as is this for the January header and the notes header. I've then got the first page of January. These little stickers are actually from Sticky McStickerface on Etsy, which is a fabulous shop name, and in the back of my bullet journal there's a little pocket back here, and I've got lots of the days of the week stickers in there as well, and I will need to buy more from them. It's a slightly different font, but I really like how it looks. So I went for a big sticker for decoration, and it says stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start being excited about what could go right. If you've watched any of the videos that I filmed over the last couple of days, you will know that I very often, as I say, get imposter syndrome, get the fear and think, oh god, this could go horribly wrong. I get paralysed and I don't do the thing. I should just do the thing, because what's the worst that could happen? It could go horribly wrong. Yeah, true, but I can always go back and redo it. I can fix things, I can change things, and if it does go horribly wrong, at least I know, at least I've tried. That is something that I do quite a lot of, procrastinating on things because I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to do it as well as I think I should, and I just need to get over myself and get it done. So that's what that sticker's about. And then the first week of the month there are only 2 days, so Saturday and Sunday, the 1st and the 2nd. So I've given myself 2 boxes here. Now this is going to be my daily to-do lists. I'm hoping that I'm giving myself enough room, because some of these boxes, as we will see coming up, I've got a week on 1 spread, so you know, 7 days on 2 pages basically, and I'm hoping that that's going to be enough room. It might not be, but that again is what my messy scribbly notebook is for. So I'm hoping this is going to work for me. So I had lots of room on this first one because there were only 2 days, so I've given myself some nice big boxes. The to-do lists on these days are going to be small, so I probably will do a little bit of journaling, but I used a pretty sticker for the decoration on this one as well. And then we are into a week on 2 pages, so I could have given myself this space for notes, but I wanted a pretty sticker. This is hopefully going to be really functional for me. My to-do lists are never huge. Sometimes they are in December because I do have a lot of stuff to do in December, but they're never super huge, so I'm hoping these were going to be enough space for me. And I have also tried to make it interesting by changing up the way that the pages get divided, so I've got pretty much the same amount of space, but I'm trying to change it up. I also managed to get the dates wrong on this one, so I had to go over and colour in the dates and then write them in my white gel pen, which was annoying, but never mind. This time I've got a little room for notes at the top, and again a decorative sticker because I want this to look pretty. I'm going to use it more if it looks pretty. We have another setup, so again these boxes are smaller. I've got way more room for notes at the top. This was actually a misprint, but I really liked where it had cut off, so I thought, you know what, it fits perfectly, let's stick it in there. And then another weekly, so we've got the same as the first one, but I have given myself a little bit of room for notes even with a smaller sticker in the corner. And then the final one is there's 1 day of the week in January, so I have put my Monday box up there. We've got a few of my favourite things. Again, this is how I wish I had printed out the 2022 header here. I wish I'd printed it at this density. I think this is 50% opacity and you can still read it, so I know for next time. I tried peeling it up, it doesn't come up. These stickers are kind of manoeuvrable, but not hugely so. I'm not going to rip the page and pull that one up because there was a lot of work went into that page. So this is a few of my favourite things, and I'm planning on putting here the books that I've read this month, any new songs that I've actually purchased. I do still buy music from on iTunes, so any new songs that I've purchased, any films that I go and see, and any TV shows that I start. And again, I have a HP sprocket which allows me to print out really teeny tiny little pictures, and they are on sticker paper, so I'll be able to stick them in here. Over here I have this big space left, and I'm thinking what I might do, one of my New Year's resolutions is to up my Instagram game, get better at my photography skills, and I do have a fancy selfie stick now which has got a remote control on it, which should allow me to take better photos of my outfits, because at the moment I'm trying to screen capture them and they're grainy and they're not good, and I'm trying to one of my friends sort of says polish a turd. I'm trying to make them look good in Photoshop and Lightroom, but the starting image is so bad that it's not really getting much better. I would like to put photos of my favourite makes from that month in this particular spot as well. That's what I'm thinking, but we shall see. I get to play around with it, and that's the fun of a bullet journal like this, where you make up the boxes and the pages yourself, is that you can do what you like. When I got this book, like I say, it's 180 pages and they are thick pages. It's really nice paper. I went to the back of my book, and it took me a while, but I went through and I actually penciled in all of the weeks, and then I also penciled in, which I hope you can just about see there, you can, I've also penciled in the month at a glance, and I've given myself as much as possible a page, a double spread at the end for very much this, a few of my favourite things, because I do like to record those kinds of things. And I used to think that I don't read very many books, but I actually do read quite a lot of books, except I listen to them on Audible, so I don't know if it counts, but it counts. So yeah, I have gone through and I have marked out each week in the year and then the months at a glance, so I've done that for every single month going forward. And what I am going to do is I am going to use Canva to set up each month with pretty stickers. So I have actually gone through my February and I have penciled in what I want to do with my February. So I've got my month at a glance, and I know that I haven't got a lot of space at the top here for a sticker. I'm thinking I might print out just an F with pretty decorative things on it, because there's loads of those on Canva, the letters of the alphabet with pretties on them. But I have got a lot of room down here for a nice long sticker down there. Then I have got my first month planned out, and I've decided to do even smaller box here because there's actually only 6 days in the first week, because it starts on a Tuesday, obviously January finishes on the Monday. So I've got 6 boxes, so I thought I'd try something different, and I've got like a running task list box here, so I should end up with a pretty sticker there, running task list, and then the days of the week. So I've just gone through and kind of like penciled in what I think I'm going to need so that I can work out what size of stickers and decoration to make so that I can print those out and set those up. And I'm thinking that by setting up my weeklies at the beginning of the month ahead of time, I will then be able to use it throughout the month without worrying about the fact that I'm in London and I don't have any of my stuff to hand. Wilson doesn't have a printer, I don't have any of my pens or sticky tape or anything like that, you know, washi tape or anything like that up there. So I thought by pre-planning and doing my weeklies that I would not worry about them not looking beautiful, because I've made them beautiful ahead of time. If you guys are interested, I will be doing monthly setups so that you can see how I put them together from the starting point on Canva through to actually going through sticking all the stickers in and drawing out all the kind of boxes and weeks and things like that. I really enjoy those videos. Hopefully you guys do too. You'll have to let me know in the comments what you think. But this is my setup for the year. So I've got my nice diary that is going to hopefully continue to look pretty, because I will continue to aim to make it look pretty. And then I have my scribbly notebook where I can make rough notes and lists and things like that, because this is how I used to use my bullet journal, and it used to really bug me that I'd end up with something messy like this in it when the rest of it didn't look, I mean, as you can see, I started off trying to make this look neat, and then it got progressively scruffier as I ran out of time to get all the stuff done in December that I needed to. So yeah, I'm gonna have a scruffy notebook that I'm gonna be able to put in and change whenever I need. I'm going to have my whole year at a glance here, and then it's all covered up in this beautiful leather traveler's notebook cover that I got from El Rohia. Hopefully I've got that right. There is another one that they do. It's a brown one with clocks and cogs on it, and oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm really tempted, but I don't need more than one, so I'm going to stick with this beautiful one that I've got here. So that is my bullet journal 2022 setup. I think I have found a solution for planning that works for me. I would be really interested to hear what you guys think. Is there anything that you would add? Is there anything that you think that I don't need that I've added in there? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'd be interested to hear what you think. I think this is going to work for me. I always feel better when I have my to-do lists written out. I do better with written down deadlines that I know I'm aiming for and needing to work towards. I definitely have felt very unorganized in 2021 not having that, and it's my own fault for not having that, because I mean the beginning of the year, like I say, up until about May I didn't have access to all my stuff, but from May onwards I bought the DIY fish inserts and I had the Filofax. I totally could have done it. I had this, but I just kind of let it all go to the wayside, and I've definitely felt more unorganised. So I'm hoping for a more organised 2022 in my traveller's notebook. Wish me luck. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!